Welcome back. We're talking real estate today. This is the show, Your Real Estate Today. If you're just popping on, tuning in, or you've got us in the car or in the home or on your computer, we're glad you're listening to us today. I'm Paul Jameson, your host, owner of the Jameson family of real estate companies. That's realty for buyers and sellers, property management, if you have investment property, as well as the investment arm, which is to identify and help those invest in real estate. All right. So Marty Ivey with Ivey Exterminating is here. He's not been here since 1954, but his business has. And so we're glad that he is with us today. Marty, fall invaders, this is the time. You were telling me a little bit before the show, and I witnessed it at home. The stink bugs. I mean, it must have got on my shirt or the back of my shirt or something. And all of a sudden there was a daggum stink bug that followed me, stuck to me, and shared my entrance to my domicile.
Yeah, this time of year they're amazing. They can come through cracks as small as 60 microns. We've seen them come through cracks that small. They're amazing. They're amazing insect. They really became prevalent in the United States in the 90s. They came over here from Asia. They have been prolific about reproduction. The problem that we get into, what people don't think about, they see them and they say, well, how did that thing get to my house? Well, they molt 5 times, and every time they molt, they change size. So they start out very, very small, and by the 5th molt, they're a pretty good sized little insect, and they migrate inwards. They'll jump on you like bright colors you got on a mini vest today. They mint colored vest. They would love that. You come through, they'll jump right on that. They typically damage crops. Do a lot of damage to crops. They like fruits. They're very, very prevalent this time of year. Typically going to show up on the sunny side of the house. They're going to chase the side of the house that's sunny. My house or my driveway side, when I'm parking out in the carport and come in the house, the driveway side where I can access through is very sunny. So they get on the sunny side of that brick. They absorb that energy, helps them overwinter, helps them survive better at night. There's that side door. They're always got a storm door on that side door, and they're always around that storm door. And you have to do some routine treatment to stop them. They are very prevalent this time of year. They are bad, like I talked in the previous segment. They're bad about getting on Christmas trees and Christmas tree lots, along with ladybugs. Ladybugs is another preference insect. If you're seeing just 1 or 2 in a house, get your vacuum cleaner and vacuum them up. But they can perform an explosion around your house this time of year. If you've got an entrance of your home that gets a lot of late afternoon sun, you're probably going to have to do some type of treatment around those areas to minimize their impact inward. This year, we are seeing an influx of these fall invaders that invade the home. It's the worst year I've ever seen in the entire time I've been in this business. My parents started this business in 1954. And I've been raised up in this business as a child. I've never seen the fall invaders as bad as they are this year. I noticed how the acorns are falling very hard out of the trees. It is. I've never seen it like
triggering it, Marty. Is there something that's making it the worst?
Mother Nature. I think that's Mother Nature's way of trying to tell us that we're going to have a hard winter. I just think that's Mother Nature's way. We've had very, very mild winters for the last 10 or 12 years. We've had no really hard winter to knock these insect populations down. We need a freeze for 5 to 6 to 7 days, and we just don't get that here. And we haven't gotten it for many, many years. But I think that it's going to be a hard winter this year. At least that's what these fall invaders are indicating. Either that or maybe Christ is coming back, one or the other. But I know one thing: I have never seen it like it is right now. The mice, typically, mice are fall invaders. We have a lot of people, and I've noticed it here recently, that we get an awful lot of people that leave their garage doors open this time of year. And if that garage door is facing the sunny side, you're going to get an influx of pests in that area. And you need to minimize these access points where they can come in.
What about mice?
Well, the mice are the huge issue because they get in, they do damage. A lot of people store dog food in their garages, and these mice come in the garage, and then they segue from there into the house. We're seeing them segue now into people's cars that are parked in the garage. We had a customer went and got 50 pounds of dog food the other day at the pet store and brought it home and had mice in their garage because the pet food from the store, 50-pound bag of dog food, had mice and dog food they brought through the store because they could see where the had chewed into the dog food outside the bag, from meaning that he came from inside out, and had performed some damage to the wires to the thing. We're having squirrels now get in garages. We're having squirrels get in garages now and doing damage to vehicles. We had a customer had his wiring harness tore all up on his car, on his truck. Squirrel made a nest on it. He popped his truck, been sitting there for about a month. He popped it open and it had a squirrel nest, had 3 baby squirrels in it. And mama giving him a hard time. Well, I don't think mama made it. I don't think she made it. I think the baby squirrels made it through the ordeal. I don't think mama made it, but I'm fascinated about how this wildlife is just this invasion. We're seeing squirrels now just tear people. We got one over in Gastonia. They've tore the house up. They've tore the shingles off the roof, ridge cap. They've eat holes in the sidings. And if you got an older home, a lot of people don't even think about this, and they're chewing holes in the siding. And all they're trying to do is they're trying to get into a conditioned space. And if you got an older home, when you go to patch that siding, it's not going to match, especially masonite, because you can't buy masonite now. You can't really find masonite in the home improvement stores to do patchwork. And in most cases, we do wildlife control. If you're hiring us to do your wildlife control, once we capture the animal, we use these live cages, we capture them. We then come in and try to block these areas where they've had this access. And in most cases, these patches are just sheet metal and it's not going to match. If it's along gutter line or along the edge of roof line, we can hide it. But if it's on a siding in a very visible area, you're going to have to get a carpenter and a painter out there, and it can be problematic. And we are seeing squirrels now going on siding and just chewing it from one end to the other, and hadn't seen that, never seen that like that before. I mean, this house over in Gastonia got 35 feet plus of fascia board. It's going to have to be replaced on one side because they've just chewed it up. And once that squirrel gets dedicated to coming in there, you're going to have to capture that squirrel, or it's going to, I don't care how much repair work you do, it's going to keep gnawing. It's going to keep going at it. It's almost like they're just justified in their action, and they're not going to give up. And we see them now. We do sheet metal patches on a lot of stuff. We're seeing them come back and chew through the sheet metal patches. And I mean,
oh, you got to be kidding.
I'm just telling you, we've seen them. I saw a house the other day that chewed through the gutter, chewed through the gutter. I was like, what? This squirrel's in the sheet metal business. I was like, it's in what we're seeing right now. It's just crazy.
Needed some iron, huh?
I gotta admit, it is impressive to see what they can do. It is very impressive, but they're aggravating. I mean, they're aggravating to the point that they can chew wires up in the attic. I've seen them where they've literally chewed the wires up, burnt the house down. Their teeth are constantly growing. All rodents' teeth are constantly growing, so they're constantly gnawing just to hone their teeth back. And rodents, mice in general, rats don't have kidneys on them, so everything they run across got urine on it. So,
let me ask a practical question then. So let's say somebody's concerned they may have a squirrel. Maybe they heard it noise in their attic. Maybe they've heard the pitter patter of little feet up above at 3 a.m. Okay.
Not good.
Okay. So what do? They just call you, if they're there?
Well, we have to come out and do an inspection. We have to try to figure out where they're coming in at. We have to try to make some assessment. And then we have to figure out some type of formula on how we're going to capture them and get them out and then seal it up to block them out.
Right. All right. Well, we're going to talk some more about fall invaders, and we're going to share with you. And then coming up in the fourth segment, Sandy Dickinson with CrossCountry Mortgage. She'll be with us too. We got a lot going on today. You know that, Marty? We're going to talk.
We sure do. Good.
Fall invaders. Daggone, I thought it was just Halloween. We'll be right back to show you Real Estate Today, News Talk 1110 99.3 WBT.